So the fake male advocates, I forgot to put this in the video, but the fake male advocates, they really don't advocate for anything. They just make small videos and act like they talking to the women, the bad women. I have never seen these fake male advocates ever on a live stream talk to the men who are in the dating world today, or talk to the men who've been in horrible situations. So these are the 10 things that these fake male advocates don't do or say to help men. 1. Make shows to help men with cases of false allegations. It means I don't see these women finding lawyers that will help men war off false allegations. Mind you, these people, these women, are pretending like they're good and they're helping men. But all they're doing is just talking. They have never made a actual show with any man, calling shows and nothing, to ever hear the stories of what men had to go through. And count how many men had been through false allegations. They don't make shows of, hey, a title show like, hey, the world of false allegations. And then men will tell their stories about them being falsely accused of stuff and telling their entire story so we can know the dangers of what's out there. We don't have that. Somehow, some way, none of them care to put men on, everyday men on. It's funny that everybody is advocating for men, but they don't want to hear the men's stories. We don't hear everyday men's stories. They want to be able to dictate and talk. The Cesare chick, whatever her name is. Oh yeah, blah blah. She never reached down and talked to any of these guys. It's weird to have somebody say that they advocate for men, black love, but they never talk about what happens when it doesn't work out. The false allegations and all that stuff, right? So, getting a man job or helping him get jobs, right? Man of Tomorrow gave people a gym saying you go to a work center and you find out who need trades in your city. What is the most valuable trade that you can find in your city? That's the gym. He told you that. And a couple people said that he helped them. So, Man of Tomorrow has been helping men in that way, but I never seen women do that. I never see them. Oh, they're not supposed to. I know they're not supposed to. This is not me trying to say that they should be doing this and doing that. It's me saying that how can you be an advocate and you don't do anything for men? You don't help nobody. Advocating for men is not just making videos. It's putting in the work. It's helping them recover stuff. But for some reason, a lot of these men they don't try to help men for it. Because they know if they help men for it, especially the black ones, they're going to go and date somebody else. But that's a risk that you should be taking. Most of y'all should be taking. Because if you did the right thing, or should I say if you did help men in general, they would be more thoughtful towards so-called black women. Oh shit, a black woman helped me out, blah blah blah. Oh, I might not. They might not be that bad. Some of them might let up and stuff. It's a gesture of the 40, 50 years of bullshit that they did to us or talked about us, right? So, getting a man a passport. I don't I told my idea that if I ever, I'm not really going to get big, but if I ever had some of the platforms some of these other guys had, I would be doing shows to give guys free trips. Um, Free trips and helping them push basically a taste of traveling. Where instead of supporting Austin Holloman, somebody who used Passport Bros and put Passport Bros on his he basically, I think what he had a tattoo of Passport Bros, and then say he not associated with it no more because they're paying for sex and he don't want that on him because he doesn't pay for sex. But in the second video I'll expose him. Um, it's funny to me that a lot of these women will jump on Passport Bros and in the movement and everything else and say, these men are going somewhere else. That's why these men are doing this and doing that. But they never actually try to help anybody. I mean, they never give back to anybody, for real, for real. Men are constantly giving them money, but they don't constantly give. And I'm not saying that you should get, but at least 5 guys out of the year that you can help. You hear their stories, you hear what they went through, and then you say, "Hey, you just want a passport. We gonna get you the money. You give us the photo and stuff, and we gonna crowdfund the money for you to go overseas, enough money, and then we gonna see how you feel you being overseas, and then you have to do it your own way. You have to do it. This is your first shot. This is a taste of you traveling. How long it's gonna take you, blah blah blah, and tell us your experience and blah 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 about traveling." I don't hear these male advocates do that. Show better women to date. It's funny that none of these women have a vetting service, or how can I put it? None of them have positive outcome stories with men who knew their friends or dated their friends or whatever. This is one of the things that I always have to figure out, is that is their friend, all these women, these so-called good women friends, married in good relationships, or are they just on here throwing hot air? Right? Men in the instant, we've been helping each other. SYSPM, even Passport Bros, we showed, show men that there's better, there's a better group of women to deal with. Anybody who tell you that, hey, guess what? There's a better group of women. It ain't you, it's them. And a lot of guys, based off that motivation, is like, hey, so we show better women. We didn't tell men to go over to Miami and get shot up. We been knew that Miami was a ghetto spot. It's funny that the same people who was telling people to go to Miami instead of going overseas, they're not talking about that no more. They're not talking about the craziness that's going on over in Florida. They're not talking about that. Just like they didn't talk about the Atlanta shit. Just you remember Ramil telling everybody to go to Atlanta and how easy it is to get women down there? They're not talking about the high STD rates down there like they did before. They're not talking about that no more. And remember, somebody was talking about Houston, Texas, and you go over to Texas and get women and blah, blah, blah. What happened when people exposed to how messed up them women is over there? Everybody started to shut up about the places that they said was good to get women. This is why I said that you can't believe these dudes. Just like, what's that dude name? Who, I forgot that guy name, who was talking about, there's beautiful women in New York. Huh? That's like me telling you there's beautiful women in Philly and you should come to Philly and date exclusively here. I wouldn't tell you to date nobody here. You for real? But they don't show any better women to date for men to actually feel like they can stay here. They just fake advocate. Show about today's dating and the conversations in them. So, where are the shows at of men's experience dating in today's society and the conversations that men have with these women. I mean, I told y'all what back in 2017. I talked to this, this girl because I was waiting for the Teen Wolf marathon. I mean, the Teen Wolf finale to come on. This girl talked my ear off for 7 hours, trying to give me sad stories, telling me all this other crap. And I literally, if I wasn't waiting that long, I would have never wasted my time. But it was me seeing how, what was going on in the so-called dating scene where this the type of people that was out there. You know the reason why they won't let men air their grievances out and talk about how, the conversations that they have, because then it'll destroy their point of, oh yeah, you're socially awkward. You're socially this and you're socially that and blah blah blah. Right? Why isn't you having detractors of what what other men say about men at all? Because it's always on the guys, never on the women, and we never hear about the conversations that men have with women in today's dating world and how men don't want to have these type of conversations and deal with this bullshit, right? See how much men paid in dating and being married to women in today's world. So why is none of these male advocates ever say, can you tell me how much money you spent in your relationship right? They never go to men and ask them why you don't date this group of women. Why you don't do this and this and this. Why you don't do this and this and this. Oh, why you're not dating like this. Why you not doing this. Tell us why. How much money did you spend on women, right? Or on your girlfriend or your wife? How much money? And then calculate it up and show, hey, these guys wasted a lot of money. The relationship stuff ain't worth it. You know why? Because it would destroy their point. A lot of these fake male advocates are trying to bring men into an illusion that, hey, if this woman is like this, then maybe, just maybe, there's women out there. So I might as well try to keep digging and digging and digging until I find a girl just like this one right here. So, shows to help men with rent or bills after drama with women. So, I never seen none of these shows where they're helping men. They're helping men alleviate the pressure after a woman did some stupid shit and this guy had to pay a car note, or this guy had to pay, he lost money because he spent all his money up and did this. Rescuing men once in a while, it can go a long way. I did it before. Like back in the day, some of these concepts that I'm saying right here that these fake male advocates is doing, I did this. I helped guys pay their bills, gave them what is like 2-3 months of worth of rent, paid some of the what's it called bills and all that. That's when I had some money back in the day. That's why I ran out of it. Some people was worth it, some people wasn't. But at least I could say I helped people. I helped the dudes that I said I wanted to help. Now these women, they don't put up a shut up. There's no shows of, hey, if you donate to me, this is for the good men out here. Tell us what happened. Tell us what happened, or telling us blah 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 blah. and we help you out, blah 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 blah, at a certain extent, blah 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 blah. Right? You don't you don't get it from these fake male advocates. These women who talk about black love and all this other stuff. They don't give you solutions to any of your problems. They don't even help you show it at all. Same thing with all these other people too. None of these shows are about anybody's real experience. And we talk about the ones who's out there. Not married men, not guys in the chat, anything. And every time a man comes up and tell his experience, you got these fucking idiots talking shit. But we don't have these conversations. It's just a bunch of fake bullshit. So, listen to men's horror stories. Things that they saw, did, and had done to them by women, right? So, basically, why none of these women ever, when they make topics up, right? Why haven't they made shows exclusively about the topic they made and have men call in about the stuff that they've been through? Trust me, there's a lot of stories that I had people told me about some of these chicks and how some of these guys was going to pretty much wreck these chicks. Or they was just sitting in the room with a handgun ready to take this girl out and take himself out because this chick made his life a living hell. Or how many scars guys have because a woman burned him and he didn't want to say anything. Or how, somebody's parents was telling them that they shouldn't call the cops on a woman abusing them. Or their so-called friends around them telling them men don't do this and men don't do that. But somehow, some way, these fake male advocates don't do that. Show how much money men paid in child support and alimony. So we're talking about the men, the unsuspected men, not the men who walk themselves in situations. You have to ask these guys, did they know about the red pill? Did they know about all these different types of things before you hear their story? If they say, yeah, I heard about it, what do you thought about it back then? And if they honest, you hear their story. I did the same thing. Hey, you know about red pill, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, red pill, they're a bunch of whiners and stuff like that. Okay, dude, I can't hear you. You said they're a bunch of whiners, but you came in here telling me about your story about this chick or what she did to you. Hey, the whiners are not going through the shit you went through. They were smart enough to understand the basic concept of red pill, MGTOW, any type of philosophy that didn't get them in trouble. Get out my face. That's about it. But I told you, men get the bare minimum. We don't get if men was a restaurant, our restaurant would have all types of shit into it. Roaches and rats and all the ceiling peeling and everything else. That's how they serve us. And they serve us shit on plates. That's what the pandering, the equivalent of pandering to men. We get the shit. We get the 0-star restaurants, while the women get pandered to. They get 5-star. All these shows and blah blah blah, and they get to break down what they cry and all that. We don't get the same thing. None of us get it like that. Exposing the lies for men of society lies. So why is none of these female advocates ever exposed about shows about confidence and workout and all the stories? I have a whole bunch of stories about creepy ass women touching me. Back in the day, getting on the bus when I bunched up, it would be so many fucking creepy ass women trying to touch a feel on my muscle and think that I didn't notice that she was doing that. Old ass women doing that shit. That wasn't flattered. It was nasty. And then talking about me behind my back and trying to touch my ass and shit and doing all this other shit. It was creepy as fuck. That's one of the reasons why I stopped. One of the reasons why I I pretty much reduced my muscle size because it gave me too much attention. Also, people thought it was a way to try to G check me or you know, be on some other shit where it's like, yeah, I could beat him up. On some alpha male shit, oh, I can beat the biggest guy in the room. When I'm not even trying to fight you, I'm just this size because I want to be this size. And then the women thought that they was ownership of you because you were big and they found you attractive and you should be with them. There's a lot of situations that happen, but we don't hear that from male advocates. Why don't we hear from male advocates about the life of the big penis guy, the life of the good looking man, and what he did and what he doesn't do, and what and his story and him advocating to men, telling him not to trust women. I know 2 male porn stars who told me face to face, don't trust none of these bitches. They're cheaters, they're liars, they're whores, and you'll be surprised what they look like. One dude had a whole phone full of women he slept with. Thousands of women he slept with. And he just told me, married, had a boyfriend, married. The only reason why he do what he do, he said, hey, because I can get away with it. And I'm taking advantage of my position. And I said, hey, I can respect that. I'm just getting another perspective. I'm getting a perspective from a guy in your position. Why you think I'm not cool with the guy no more? Well, not cool with the guy. Well, you think I'm not around him like that? Because I don't be around people like that for a long time. I just get the perspective from them. That's what you're supposed to do. Not talk shit about incels and all that, but get a perspective out of them. But hey, they don't have that. They don't have no inside of that where it's like, do you have to... The mystery is always a mystery. They've been doing that shit for almost 50, 60 years, 100 years. They never tell you how much, they never tell you the advantages of so-called 1% and how easy it is for them and how messed up these women are. Because you know why? You know why these women, these fake male advocates, the black women and this? Because it'll make them look bad. It'll destroy this whole Nawalk shit. It'll also destroy their point that more men will come to the conclusion that they don't want to deal with this. And they will basically price themselves out if they tell men the truth. So, but wouldn't it be a good thing of being faithful? I mean, some of these women say they married. So why not help men when you say you helping men? Put up or shut up. But I know they're not going to do it because they don't want to lose their power. See, men, we would lose some of our power to tell the truth. There's some men who will sacrifice it all just to tell the truth. There's whistleblowers who's now not alive. There's people who's defunct, who lost a whole bunch of money, and they not A-lister stars, but then for some reason they come back up because they're not talking about the same subject, because the people were like, okay, you're a talented person. We coming to you. Just don't tell our business now. You got your stuff out, and that's about it. These advocates, man. Why are they not doing none of this stuff, man? Because I never went on none of these shows. It's the same dudes who go... In the Black Manosphere, it's the same dudes jumping on panels. Over and over and over again. The only unorthodox guy we had in this space was Zan. Zan, when he was telling everybody about his situation. Right? And then these niggas was trying to get him to go back out there when he told you he had a... If something mess up in his life again, he's gonna end up doing some real heinous shit. And these dudes kept pushing it and pushing it and pushing it. I remember that stream. O'Shea Du Jackson made a video with Xan, the guy with the sex doll. He told everybody. Nobody didn't want to look at it from his perspective. Him being divorced, him having to deal with all that recovery, spending all that time gaining his money back, and you think that he's going to go out there and play player, live a player life, pumping and dumping shit? Even that's a risk. But a lot of these dudes are not really telling you about that. They don't want to tell you about how much risky it is doing that. But hey, y'all keep believing these fake male advocates, man. The fake male advocates, they advocate for men to benefit them, not benefit men. Just remember that.